Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Take a Pause with me, Varun Dugirala. Today I want to talk to you about something which I've kind of struggled with my entire life and have taken baby steps to kind of work around. It's confidence. But before I get into that, I want you guys to hit subscribe, smash that bell icon so I can get the confidence to be able to share what I want to share with you today. I've struggled with confidence my entire life. You know, it's been one of those things which at every stage is like that small voice at the back of my head that is always making me question every single thing that I want to do, everything that I want to say, every single aspect of how I function as a human being. And I know that so many of you struggle with the same thing, right? And no matter how much I've done in my life, no matter whatever I've achieved, in many ways, this lack of confidence, this feeling of self doubt doesn't really go away. And when I trace it back to, was I always like this? I mean, as a kid, I was actually a very confident person. I would perform for people who would come home, right? Anybody would come home, and I would be this kid who would put on costumes and dance and play act and stuff. But there was one incident. There was this one time when I think I was in second standard or third standard, I don't remember correctly, when my school had a costume contest, one of those fancy dress competitions as they called it. And I dressed up like this person from a village, and I prepared this entire monologue. I was going to act, I was going to say dialogues. I was normally always a very impromptu kind of person, but that day I said, okay, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to do this. And I got onto stage and I looked at the entire crowd around me. I looked at my parents, I looked at people I knew, friends, their parents, and I just froze. I couldn't say a word. I couldn't do a thing. Tears started coming out of my eyes. My voice started shaking. And all I could say was, Mama, I can't. I ran off stage that day and couldn't get myself to get back onto a stage for the next 20 years. Or maybe even longer. Over the years, I was confident in other things. Always questioned myself in sport or class or anything. But there came a point when I left home. I come from a place called Kakinada on the coast of Andhra, smaller town in that sense, and I moved to Bangalore. And the moment I moved to Bangalore, I felt smaller. Whatever little confidence had kind of come back went away instantly. I was surrounded by people who seemed to know more than I did, who seemed cooler than I was, who seemed to have had experiences far beyond what I'd had in life. And so whenever I said something, I was either made fun of or I was worried that someone would make fun of me. And that's what we all worry about, right? Why do we lack confidence? We lack confidence because we're worried that someone around us is going to judge us. That they're going to turn around and say, oh, this person doesn't know anything. Why are you so confident? You don't know what you're doing. It's that point that made me always want to be the person to stand in the background, to always be that person who would, in many ways, find it safest to be away from the spotlight. And many of us feel that spotlight, right? Even unintentionally. When you walk into a room and you see that, or rather you feel that everybody's looking at you. They're judging every single thing that you're saying and you're doing. And you freeze, It could be a professional gathering, it could be something in college. And you suddenly become this person who can't say a word. This is called the spotlight effect. And in many ways, it comes from the fact that we feel like everything is gravitating towards us, that everybody is talking to us, or rather, looking at us, talking to us in their heads. I've found that there's some tactics you can use to beat this specific way of confidence being drained from you. It's for you to realize the fact that every single person in that room, in some form or the other, is feeling exactly what you're feeling. They're as worried of being judged. They're as worried of being called out for something which they might not know or might not be able to do, and things like that. And once you realize that you're all in some form on the same plane, your lack of confidence somehow becomes a little lesser. And even if that doesn't fully help you, all you should do, and I do this quite often, right? I kind of stand there, close my eyes for a few seconds, open it up, just focus on one person. Just you. Just that person there. Just talk to them. Even if you're addressing a crowd, talk to one person. Make eye contact with one at a time, even if there are a million people in front of you, or maybe there's just one person. You feel more confident when you don't feel like you're outnumbered. When you don't feel like there is a lot of eyes on you. Maybe there's just one eye on you. But that's still not the core of our lack of confidence. Our lack of confidence in many ways stems from our own minds. Our mind is telling us that we don't know enough about most things. Our chances of failing are very high in most things that we do in our life. And that comes from a simple fact. Your mind is telling you that you need to be better prepared. You need to kind of stop yourself from failing. It's trying to keep you safe. But you can't always be safe. You can't always shy away from something you have to do. So how do you tell your mind? How do you tell your mind that, no, I really need to do this. I need this confidence in me to really go ahead and do that? It's by convincing your mind that you're not an imposter, that you're not a fraud. We all feel imposter syndrome, right? We're worried someone's going to call us out for saying, oh, you said you know this, but you actually don't. Oh, you said you can do this, you actually can't. You seem to believe you're an expert in this, but you actually are not. And the more this feeling comes in us, the less confident we feel, the less things we push ourselves to do. I've actually found that instead of focusing on our weaknesses, if we actually focus on our strengths, the things which we are most confident of, take out a piece of paper, just make a list of all the things you are most confident of for yourself, for what you can do. Make a list of those. It can be on a paper, could be in your head. And every time you feel a lack of confidence in doing something, see if that list of things you're confident of could in some way help you do this. I was terrible with presentations my entire life. I would walk into a room, I would not know how to present, so I would just mumble something and walk away. Till I realized that what I could actually do is have a decent conversation. So I would always be the person who would make a presentation into a conversation. And the day I flipped the way I did it, like now I'm having a conversation with you. I'm not presenting an idea to you, at least in my head. The less the lack of confidence that I felt. And the more I would flip any point of worry or any point that was sucking the confidence out of me, I was connecting that to something I was confident of. The more I could do it, the more I find myself being able to do it. And this is not a foolproof method. We all go out looking for foolproof methods. The internet is filled with people telling you, this is how you can build confidence, this is how you can have success. But there is no one size fits all. All you can do is listen to other people's experiences, see how they've done it, see how they've tried to move ahead. I still have a lack of confidence at most times. All I've taken are small baby steps to find ways to help myself when it's too much for me to handle. My whole point of doing this was to share my method of putting down a confidence list and helping it beat my imposter list or fraud list in that sense. And to also tell you that we all feel like we aren't confident enough. We all feel like we can't do enough. And that feeling stems in our minds. It's our mind telling us. So you have to make your mind your friend, and to make your mind believe that you can actually do these things, that you can say these things. Don't take away the fear it gives you. That fear is good, it keeps you safe. But make sure you have that conversation with your own mind to tell yourself, no, but I might, or rather, you might believe that I can't do this well. But see, I'm using this thing I can do really well to help my weak part. And the more you make those connections, the more you start engaging with your own mind, the more you talk to yourself, and you kind of slowly breed that even little bit of confidence within yourself, the better you can deal with this lack of confidence. I know I spoke about self-doubt in a past episode, and I thought I'll talk about confidence. And I think in many ways, what I really want to try and do is to share my own battles with all these things that everybody deals with, and to give you my own experiences and my own ways to move beyond them and see if they can actually help you in some way. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Take a Pause with me, Varun Duggirala. If this gave you some form of value, make sure you hit subscribe and smash that bell icon. And if you're listening to this on an audio format, make sure you subscribe as well and leave us a rating. It helps more people find this and could hopefully help someone else as well. So till next time, make sure that you talk to your mind so you can give yourself that needed boost of confidence in the same way I've been trying to over the last many years. Take care and think about this when you take a pause.